Hello, it's Wednesday and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
Well, we've just come from a very, very dramatic
Oh my god.
and hectic election weekend. The results were announced yesterday,
Yeah.
but there was a couple of problems.
Happy or not, they were not yesterday.
There were a couple of problems that went down in the weekend.
Yeah.
But let's just check out this clip first, and then you tell me what you think about it.
Okay.
It is a serious matter. In fact, there is a lot that is going to come out in these elections. I fully support my colleagues here that nobody must force us to say now this is what are as a result. Well, the results are not correct. If we say so, I think the institutions must satisfy us that they did look into the issues. The first time, ever since freedom, where people arrested doing wrong things. First time. I'm sure we all know that some people got arrested. You don't know? We are not journalists then. Journalists must know everything, don't you know? Huh? Yes. We are going to need the time. Nobody must declare tomorrow. No.
So for context about this video, there were a couple of disgruntled political parties, not a couple, basically half of the political parties contesting these elections were disgruntled with the results.
What's happening? The objections is bouncing back. And if you send the email to the IEC, is it not their duty to send something back to say, oh, but we received it, this is what we're going to do? There's nothing happening, man. Remember the Constitution says the elections is supposed to be free and fair.
How many political parties do you think so far?
All of them. All of the opposition.
Majority
All of them besides the Democratic Alliance.
All of them besides the DA.
You go into strongholds. I'm just making an example. You go into a stronghold of Zuma. How is it possible that the DA can beat them there? Huh? We have received so many messages here. I mean, we literally went there and saw how the presiding officer had some of our votes, 120, counted with the DA. And if our people didn't fight, we wouldn't have gotten that votes back. So how many votes wasn't lost? They say, yeah, there's a low voter turnout, but how many people was turned around? How many glitches didn't the IEC have? This elections is rigged.
They picked up too many discrepancies. They picked up too many errors in the capturing system.
Yeah.
They picked up too many votes being swapped around.
Yes. And a lot of them taken from their votes.
And a lot of the political parties, particularly in the Western Cape, lodged for a formal document to get these results recounted or looked into. But the IEC had made an announcement that they are gonna announce the results regardless of how many objections that there are.
Yes.
And so what happened was Zuma walked into the IEC center. And he caused a whole ruckus there because everybody was looking at him. People were expecting that he's gonna walk in there and accept the results. Yeah. But it turns out that he came to dispute the results with the rest of the other parties that were disgruntled. Now that Zuma is the biggest voice from those political parties, he had that to say that if IEC announces the results, they're gonna be provoked.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna think if they retaliate in any way, they're the violent ones or they're the crazy ones.
Yeah, crazy, whatever.
We can't listen to you and let us rush. Because that is provoking people in reality. Then what do you do if the institutions that are supposed to deal with everything deprive you of that possibility?
So what are your thoughts on what happened this weekend?
Well, firstly, a lot happened this weekend. It was very dramatic. But also with regards to what he's saying, I feel like he was right, in the sense where if there's a lot of political parties complaining, that about, discrepancies or irregularities within the process, you have to pause a little bit, like hold on a second and fix that or attend to that. And all we were seeing from the IEC is them just trying to hush them up or just like, can you stop? Can you stop? Can you stop? There were even allegations of people being bribed and stuff like potential bribes, and like it's either from their side, it's like, look, we're either tired and we just want to get this over and done with, or the obvious thought of, the South African is that they were bored, like, and they knew that things were going to be like this all along and they're part of it. And obviously now they're just trying to cover up their tracks and move on with life.
So I have a big problem with what happened this weekend. This whole election process has been put into question.
Yeah, it's flawed.
There's a lot of things that happen that has you as a viewer and as a voter questioning the integrity of this process.
Yes.
So for starters, people were not happy that, okay, cool, during the voting process, the lines were so long that it turned away a lot of people.
A lot of people.
That on its own should be a big red flag.
A big red flag.
Okay, we did not get all the voters that wanted to vote during the day. Some people were asking, okay, let's extend this process to make it 2 days, so that we can get as many voters to vote.
Like, why
possible.
are you running away from it? Like, I feel like they're avoiding that as much as possible.
So that's where a lot of things started. The lines were so long that a lot of people turned away and couldn't cast their vote.
Yeah.
That already infringes on people's constitutional rights.
Right.
People couldn't vote on voting day because there are glitches, because lines were too long. People were standing for the whole day, basically. Some people were standing for 12 hours. Some people only went home after 12 a.m. in the morning.
And this is even besides the people that were part of, like, that couldn't vote certain stuff with the Section 24, like those people who couldn't vote at certain, like at other stations.
Some people were turned away by the IEC because they tried to vote at the wrong voting station. That the voting process on its own had a lot of flaws.
Absolutely.
And it infringed on a lot of people's constitutional right to vote.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. They just swept past that. They were like, hey, we just got as many voters to vote as possible. This is what we couldn't do at the time. Okay, people accepted that, it's fine. The next part, which is the bigger part in all of this, was the counting process. So what happens is once all the votes are in, the counting process begins. People count at the voting station, and all party agents are there to observe the votes and the counting, and also to count as well. And if all agents are happy with the numbers,
they get submitted.
They all sign the results slip. Each party agent will sign the results slip, and then the results slip gets sent to a municipal or main or local IEC offices, and that's where the results get audited and captured. So what was happening was all the party agents, they were basically recording all the votes, counting everything like that, and then they would sign the results slip. And then the results slip will get transferred to the IEC local offices to get audited and then captured into the main system. What was happening in that whole process was after they signed, and between transferring, auditing, and capturing into the main system, the results were being changed.
I get this is national for you. DA Tole, IEC 749. We record this 9 nationally, 33.
Iselokishini njalo la Chesterfield.
Chesterfield. Iprovince ithole 519. We record ithole 40. Region ithole 723. We record 35. Ungabi ke sengathi siyahlanyana. Asidalanga nje sendele umsebenzi kanje.
votes are being allocated to different parties. Some votes are just being cancelled altogether.
Yes, captured as zero when there's
So-
an actual number there.
There was clear evidence of tampering
Yes.
with results. Clear evidence of that. And it wasn't just one instance of that. It was multiple instances. Many different parties were bringing these instances up that no, the result slips were tampered with.
Yes.
People are swapping around votes here.
We found discrepancies on our counting slips, photos that our parity agents took of our counting slips, and what is on IEC results. Melkbosstrand Country Club, we found that national, we counted 89, IEC said 0. On Sedgefield Primary School, we counted 41, IEC said 4. At Barnard Hall in Langeberg, we counted 35, IEC said 5. Here we've got on VD 971000883 national, we count 51, IEC said 0. On the regional one, we said 52, they said 0. At Bastion Primary School, national, we counted 257 and IEC said 0. On the regional, we counted 177, IEC said 0. Provincial, we counted 184 and IEC said 112. We're not even finished with our counting, and also they haven't loaded all the final results. And the presiding officer said to us, Mr. Michael Hendricks, he won't announce that this is final results tonight, but what we must do is follow the law.
So have you officially lodged a complaint, because there is a deadline?
We're busy lodging complaints now, and all the parties except the DA are asking together for condemnation until tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, so that the results that must still come in, that we can check that and see there's no discrepancy. What actually happened is the parties asked for a total recount of the Western Cape and National, because there's definitely everything is not right. There's corruption. And they said, according to the law, that we can't do that. We must submit objections. So everybody running now to do objections and ask condemnation to extend until tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Okay, what the IEC does, they're just like raise an objection, we're gonna look into it.
Yeah, we're gonna look into it.
We'll
We're
correct it.
going on with life. We're moving, we're still counting. We're still counting. Like, stop the count.
So they'll just like, we'll correct this, we'll correct the results, we'll correct the results. Cool. That started happening on Friday already when the voting starts. I mean when the counting started. On Saturday it really went up when these discrepancies were picked up in the Western Cape a lot. So all the parties in the Western Cape were saying that no, these numbers are not right.
No.
These numbers that are being captured
Yes.
are not right.
We have evidence of people who actually voted and we know voted, but their votes don't appear there. Like zero, saying nobody voted in that.
And these were happening in multiple districts. This wasn't just a small incident. It was happening all over the province. It was basically happening all over the country as well.
All over the country.
So political parties got together and they were like, no, these results are not right. Let's do a recount of all this. Let's do a recount.
Like,
IEC was like, nope.
are you kidding?
Just raise an objection. We're gonna correct. We're gonna fix the numbers, and then we continue with the counting. That was just their stance. And then it took the likes of MK to step in. It took the likes of Jacob Zuma to also come up and say that, no man, these results are not right. Too many things went wrong in this election process.
Yeah.
Let's stop the announcement of the results.
Yes.
Let's look into all these issues first.
Yes.
We have the time. You have 7 days to produce these
What is
results.
the rush?
Why are you trying to get everything done by the end of the weekend? You have 7 days to do that. So that was the issue. Then Zuma was like, no, if people cannot freely vote who they want in and who they want out,
what constitution is that? What freedom is that?
then this democracy is a sham. This democracy doesn't exist. We are literally witnessing voter rigging happening in front of our eyes. So what I'm saying, why this is very dangerous, because once as a society we get used to the idea that elections
is okay.
Elections rigging happens, and we okay with that.
And
Like how in society we've accepted that politicians are corrupt.
And
We've just accepted that. We even make jokes about it. We even laugh about it. That no, comrades are corrupt. Comrades eat our money.
Oh, slave queens are not gonna get money now.
Slave queens are always eating up of the comrades. Once it also becomes part of our society that our election process, there's rigging that happens there, much like in other African countries. People know that in Zimbabwe votes get rigged.
Accepted now that you're.
People know in other African countries that election processes are rigged. They just know.
And that's why so many of them were actually looking to the South African process to be like, this is how elections are supposed to be done.
And we've been the poster child for that.
Exactly.
We've been the poster child to that we have
free and fair elections.
Cool. But now that this has been brought up, I don't like the way the IEC handled the situation.
I hate the way they handle
this is a very serious matter, because if there's clear evidence of result slips being tampered with, this needs a proper investigation.
Yeah.
So this is ANC now. We just showed to EFF. So that is ANC. That is 1027. Can you see the writing? Can you see how that's zero? Look at the IEC. Look. So someone's pen did some work.
Can you show us the EFF?
So the EFF.
Yeah.
Sorry, just one second. So the EFF, there's the EFF. 156 votes. 156. This is what they have on the system. Look, the one are not the same.
What did the DA get? Check what did the DA get?
Yeah, maybe you are right. So the DA 432. Let's check. They kept it right. Theirs must be right, Kanu.
Which VD is this one?
There's a VD. It's proceeding. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Check quickly for my. What is the VD number?
No, check online.
Yeah, we'll check it now. We'll check it now.
Colleagues, can we get some space to just...
Yeah, it's captured correct of the DA. It's 432. It's captured correct, Yana. The funny thing here,
ours is also
look, it's called it's captured correct, but but someone did a thing.
Yeah.
And then what about here for the EFF?
EFF 56. So that one, it's now no longer there.
So this needs like a clear investigation. So people like to bring up the auditing process. They like the auditing process is good. This is where results are verified before they get captured into the system. People have shown that the results that were captured are not properly audited. So, for example, there was a result slip that was captured into the system, which had only one signature signing for all the parties, like one signature. That means one person signed off for all the parties.
I don't know that we've got the same person doing signatures for everyone. This one is the same signature for all the political parties. And guess what? ELF got 250. And guess what did the EFF get? What's EFF now? EFF got 0. VD Kagama High School.
That was audited and captured into the system. So that on its own should tell you that no.
Why are you going to accept that?
Yeah, that on its own should tell you that the auditing process it's heavily flawed. So those people bring up the auditing process that no, these votes are audited and the recounts happen and all that stuff like that. There was clear evidence of the auditing process missing not properly auditing result slips that were tampered with. Clear evidence of that. So many parties brought this up and were saying that no man, these election results are not right.
Yeah.
The biggest disappointment I had in this as well was that I was expecting Julius to take the stance.
He was like, nah, it's okay, let it be.
Yeah.
This is why a lot of like his supporters were like, nah, man, nah, this guy.
Material effect. Even if you succeed, it will just give you are added 1,000, you are added 2,000, but it's to teach the IEC also a lesson and principle. and expose these shenanigans, that there are people who are swapping results from result slip and captured. So it's a principle we need to pursue. But when we looked at those discrepancies, that they are of no material effect. And therefore, you can't say on the basis of that, you reject the result. We accept the result. We accept the defeat.
So besides it being immaterial, if the EFF just lost a couple thousand votes or whatever,
you're being selfish. It's just about you. What if there are seats that the smaller parties are losing out on?
besides that, the principle of people's constitutional rights have been infringed. Imagine the person who stood for like 6-7 hours in a queue, going to check his voting district and seeing that his vote hasn't been counted. Imagine that person. That person's constitutional rights has been infringed on. And the activists, MK and these other smaller parties were like, we shouldn't allow this to happen.
We shouldn't.
As soon as we accept as a society that our election process is rigged,
we're messed up.
one, it's going to negatively impact voter turnout.
Yes.
More and more people
And
are not going to go to
faith in the
vote
process,
because they know that, okay, my vote doesn't count anyway, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Because elections are rigged.
They're just gonna choose their who
Two,
what.
our democracy is fucked because now we know that it's not the people choosing who's elected. It's
Yeah.
those who pay the most money to rig the elections, who choose who get to be elected. So I don't understand why people are all of a sudden coming for Zuma saying that he's a danger to democracy.
He's a danger to democracy.
Like there's some people literally saying he's a danger to
democracy?
for questioning the democratic process.
What?
He's a danger to democracy.
I really am. I'm interested in the thought process of these people, to be honest.
Some people are so blinded by
yes,
Zuma that whatever he does,
it's gotta be wrong. It's gotta be wrong.
So I don't understand. And the thing is, people don't understand that Zuma is used to fighting the establishment. He's used to it. He knows how to get their attention. He knows that if you just say, we're just gonna let the process run through, people do not care. He always has to give them that threat that if you do not listen to us, something is going to happen. So think about it like this, right? If it gets to a point where the people cannot choose who they elect and who they want out of parliament, who they want out of government, what do you think is going to happen?
Going forward.
What do you think is going to happen?
And already we see that this is not about us. Like politicians even make them. It is all about them.
I don't understand why when there's clear evidence of tampering with results, people are not being investigated, people are not being arrested. It's just like, no, we'll just recount and we'll move on. Like, how is that fine? So where's the punishment for people who tamper with election results?
Like, it's okay.
It's okay to tamper with the election. It's okay. Nobody's getting arrested. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand people. Like, if you want our democratic process to be robust.
They yell that all the time. Our democracy. Let's protect our democracy, but they.
When it's time to protect our
do
democracy,
that.
You don't care. It doesn't make sense to me, and
it doesn't, because it's not about us, and it never will be, particularly with the current government.
So even if a lot of the population feel like these results were rigged, these results were tampered with, there's nothing they can do.
Like, imagine.
There's nothing.
Imagine us.
So what power do the people actually have?
What power do we have?
So yeah, just be glad that there are leaders like Zuma who are willing to stand up to the establishment when they see things are going wrong. As much as you might hate on him, he's one leader that's willing to stand up
to fight for your rights
to the establishment. Yeah, for me, these elections were not good. People's constitutional rights were infringed on. People couldn't vote. Votes are being tampered with. Results are being changed. There's just too much that went wrong. But anyway, it doesn't help to complain now because the government has been formed.
Yeah.
Results have been announced. Now parties are busy deliberating on how to form a new government.
Now we just have to move on.
Now I just gotta move on. But if you are happy with how these elections went, good for you. Some of us know that the consequences of this could be far-reaching because in future, if we accept that elections can be rigged, our democracy is basically done.
It's gone.
But anyway, you guys just let us know what you know about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.